Hello? Are you there, Mark?
Commissioner Davis, how you doing today?
Good, just checking in, see if you got me.
You
It's now 6:01 p.m. I'd like to call to order the Regional Planning Commission business meeting for Thursday, February the 13th. And as customary, we're going to start with the pledge. And Denise, would you lead us in the pledge, please? Thank you so much. Sarah, I'll come to you now for the roll call and determination of quorum.
Mr. Peterman?
Present.
Mr. Servon? Is absent. Mrs. Karcher?
Here.
Mr. Galvery?
Here.
Mr. Mills?
Here.
Mr. Davis?
On the phone, yes.
Mr. Jester?
Here.
So you have 6 present. You do have a quorum.
Commissioners, in front of you, you have tonight's agenda. If there's no deletions or any corrections or anything, I'd entertain a motion. Mr. Galvery?
Make motion. So moved.
Mr. Peterman?
Sorry. Second. Yes.
I have a motion and a second. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to approve.
Mrs. Karcher?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galvery?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester?
Yes to approve.
So you have 6 yeas in favor of approving tonight's agenda.
You also have the minutes for January 9th, 2025. If there's no additions or corrections or anything, then I'll entertain a motion. Mr. Mills?
I move to approve.
Sarah?
Second.
Thank you, Denise. I have a motion and a second. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman? Mr. Peterman?
Yes to approve.
Mrs. Karcher?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galvery?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester?
Yes to approve.
So you have 6 yeas in favor of approving the minutes of January 9th.
Thank you very much. Next thing on the agenda tonight, you can see the actions taken by Levy Court under our recommendations. If you have any questions about that, contact staff. Seeing no old business, the new business for the night is, first one is Felton United Methodist Church, Inc., CS-25-02, request for the conditional use site plan approval to construct a 4131 square foot church located inside the growth zone overlay district off the Canterbury Road. They did a great presentation. There wasn't anybody against it. Denise, would you like to make a motion?
Certainly. I move that the Regional Planning Commission recommend conditional approval of application CS-25-02, a conditional use site plan for a church located inside the growth zone overlay district, including approval of the waiver from subchapter 187-60 A and B that requires installation of sidewalks. This is based on Exhibit A, staff recommendation report dated February 6, 2025, Exhibit B, public hearing testimony dated February 6, 2025, and the findings of facts that A, the subject site is zoned AC agricultural conservation, and subchapters 205-53 permits places of worship as a conditional use. B, the location is appropriate and not in conflict with the comprehensive plan. C, the public health, safety, and general welfare will not be adversely affected. Pursuant to Chapters 187 and 205 of the Kent County Code and pursuant to 9 Delaware Chapters, Delaware C, subchapters 4802 and 4811, the Commission has reviewed the application and the February 6, 2025 staff recommendation report, and furthermore, as part of this approval, the applicant shall comply with all staff and agency requirements as described in the February 6, 2025 staff recommendation report. And in addition, the applicant shall ensure the planted buffer does not infringe on the site triangle.
Mr. Mills?
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to approve.
Mrs. Karcher?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Godfrey?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester?
Yes to approve.
So you have 6 yeas in favor of recommending conditional approval of application CS 2502.
Thank you all, and good luck with your project. Next, or second on the agenda tonight is CS-25-03, Top 100 LLC, request for conditional use with site plan approval for a landscaping business located outside the growth zone overlay district. They did a great presentation, as the owner said, and he very much complies with all we talk about. We also had some additional information turned over to us this week. So I'll then entertain a motion. Mr. Mills?
I'd like to say before I make this motion that I know we had one opposition to this last week, and he was concerned about the environment and the runoff. And of course, that's the same way with all of us. We're all concerned with environmental practices. However, the agriculture and landscapers are all in the same regulation under the Department of Agriculture, which they are licensed, and under DNREC they're licensed, and they do have to follow the regulations, and also they do have to maintain a nutrient management program, and by not following those regulations, they would lose their license, they'd be out of business. So I can guarantee that this operation is up to standards and up to regulations and meet all the requirements needed for pesticides, fertilizers, and herbicides. With that, I'll read the motion. I move that the Regional Planning Commission recommend conditional approval of application CS-25-03, conditional use site plan for a landscape business located outside the growth zone overlay district, including approval of the waiver from 187-60A and B, requiring installation of sidewalks. This is based on Exhibit A, staff recommendation reported dated February 6, 2025, Exhibit B, public hearing testimony dated February 6, 2025, and the findings of the facts that A, the subject site is zoned AC, agriculture conservation, and 205-53 permits landscaping business as a conditional use. B, the location is appropriate and not in conflict with the comprehensive plan. C, the public health and safety and general welfare will not be adversely affected. Pursuant to Chapter 187 and 205 of the Kent County Code and pursuant to 9 Del C 4802 and 4811, the Commission has reviewed the application and the February 6, 2025 staff recommendations report. And furthermore, as part of this approval, the applicant shall comply with all staff and agency requirements as described in the February 6, 2025 staff recommendations report. In addition, the applicant shall install a privacy fence along the residential use to the north and ensure the planted buffer does not infringe on the site triangle.
Mr. Godfrey?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to approve.
Mrs. Karcher?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Godfrey?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester?
Yes to approve.
So you have 6 yeas in favor of recommending conditional approval of application CS 2503.
Thank you for your great presentation and good luck with your project. Next, we go down to public comment. Any public like to say anything? Seeing none, they're all leaving, so that's a good thing. Commission comments? Any commissioners like to say anything? Anyone on?
Yes, I do.
Was that Mr. Davis?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to know what the status was on the survey regarding the annual dinner, or what we decide to do as a group. What's the status on that? Did all the surveys come back?
They did. The consensus appeared to be doing some sort of lunch during the winter months.
Okay. Did they decide what spring, summer, winter, or
Winter.
undecided?
Winter.
Okay. All right. Well, sounds good. I guess we'll make some plans for this coming winter, whatever. But thank you so much, Sarah, for taking care of that.
You're welcome.
All right,
Denise?
thank you.
Denise?
I have a question that has nothing to do with this. But looking at this map, for example, someone that owns a piece of land that has a lot of woods in it, it's in an area that has a lot of wetlands. They own it. They're not coming in front of us for anything. They decide to, I don't know, clear the whole thing. Is that permissible?
In general, no. There would be a question of whether they were jurisdictional or not. If they are under the jurisdiction of the federal government, then you can't do anything without a core permit. There are some that the state will take jurisdiction of. Then you've got to work with DENREC, although that seems to be a moving target as well.
Thank you.
Any more questions from the commissioners? Seeing none, any other business before the commission tonight? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And I got Mr. Davis second. Call the commission.
Second.
Mr. Peterman? Mr. Peterman?
Adjourn.
Mrs. Karcher?
Yes.
Mr. Galvery?
Yes.
Mr. Mills?
Yes, so approved.
Mr. Davis?
Yes, ma'am, to approve.
Mr. Jester?
Yes, to approve, and thank you all for coming.
Hello? Hello? Can't hear you.